Good afternoon, everyone. Today's the day. Our number 2 heifer, first calf heifer, she is in labor. It's about 11 o'clock now, and starting about 3 hours ago, 8 o'clock this morning, I really noticed she was getting very uncomfortable. And if you watched part 1 of this video, you saw some of the things that I noticed this morning that was letting me know that calving was going to be happening within a few hours. So I'm still calling this stage 1. You know, there's 3 stages of having a calf. This is definitely stage 1. We'll officially be in stage 2 when that water bag comes out. This first stage with the contractions and kind of that mucus should end here, hopefully within an hour or so. And then once that water bag comes out, we'll start stage 2. That's when you might start seeing feet or maybe even a nose. Looks like we have some hooves sticking out now. I really don't want to bother her. I don't want to stress her out too much, but she's pushing them. Obviously, I'm hoping it's front feet. I want to see, 2 front feet followed by a nose. Back feet would not be good. So first calf heifer, and if you've watched my other videos, you kind of know about this number 2, this dun heifer we have. She failed to breed last year, and she actually was very tough to detect when she was in heat. She had 2 good AI attempts on her. I felt were 2 good AI attempts on her, but I had never really been able to figure out when she was actually going into heat because she showed very little signs. This year, she was successfully bred on the first attempt, but the vet spent a lot of time in her. He even commented that he felt like her reproductive tract was a little screwed up. He said it felt twisted. He was having trouble finding the landmarks, kind of the normal landmarks that you look for when you do artificial insemination. And he honestly didn't have very high hopes of her getting pregnant. And in fact, when he pulled his arm out, he was in there for a long time. She bled pretty profusely for a couple minutes. One of the things he thought might have happened was that a bull got into her too early, and that makes sense. The Dexter producer that I purchased my first 2 heifers from, he kept his herd together year round, and he did have a bull in his herd. He never really did any sort of separation, and Dexters can go into heat. They can start cycling very, very early. In fact, number 2's first calf, her first heat cycle was 5.5 months old. So at, maybe 5 months or 6 months before I had a chance to bring her home, he could have had one of his bulls actually attempt to breed her. And because she was too small, too underdeveloped, it just kind of screwed her up. So I'm a little bit more worried about her than the other 2 that are pregnant. Nobody will leave her alone. So I want to get these others separated from her. All right, got them separated just by a hot wire tied in. We'll give this heifer the front half where she's chosen to lay down. She keeps coming back to that spot, dry hay that I fed this morning. So it's a clean area, not as clean as what it would have been up there in that front 2.5 acre pasture, but I'll take it. Plus that's where she chose. So let's let her have it to herself. So this is officially stage 2 of labor, and you can see you've got hooves going in and out, 2 hooves coming out and then getting sucked back in. That's totally normal. So I really need to start seeing I think I see a tongue. So that's a good sign. This is, stage 2 of pregnancy. So this really, with a heifer, should be going on for less than 2 hours. If she is doing this for close to 2 hours, I'll need to go ahead and contact the vet and get him out here. I tried to get her up and into that 2.5 acre pasture, but I couldn't get her to walk very far. And the last thing I want to do is stress her out. There is numerous studies, no doubt, that calves born to a stressed mom, calves born in a stressful environment, will be poor doers for their entire life. So I didn't really want to be pushing her if she didn't want to get up and move, and I didn't want to separate the herd. I didn't want her to feel like she was all alone. So this gives her some space. It allows her to lay down, have a clean calving area, and it keeps those others from really bugging her. So hopefully a lot more of a relaxed birth for her. I just missed it. Oh man, I knew I should have just been hanging out just a little bit longer. I be honest, I got a little nervous again because of, you know, who it was that was calving, but I really didn't remember reading a whole lot about a tongue sticking out. So I stopped filming. I kind of got on my phone, started looking. The tongue was pink, so it obviously was still getting good oxygen, but it seemed like every time she'd have that contraction, you'd get the feet and the tongue would stick out. And then there was very little nose advancements, and she was really straining. So I went ahead and called my uncle to see what he thought about that. And, you know, she had been doing this for about a half hour. So his suggestion was go ahead and call the vet just to ask their opinion. And if they want to get on the road, you know, because our vet's about a half hour plus away. So if they want to get on the road, then they'll be here within about an hour. There is another study, another correlation between an hour or less of that calf being in the birth canal just boosts its chances to be that much more of a productive animal as it gets older. If you can get that calf out of there within an hour of that stage 2 labor, that's where that calf is going to be the healthiest. Ran up to the house, grabbed what I was going to need in case I had to intervene. I do have some chains, some pulling chains, some lubes, some sleeves, stuff like that. And came out of the house, just took a look down there, and there she was cleaning that calf off. So obviously I'm happy that she did it by herself, and right now no problems. Flicking it off, which is great. That's what we want to see. And then I'm definitely going to be looking for within an hour or two, that calf needs to be up and he needs to be getting that first drink of colostrum. After that, you know, sometime today I'm going to try and jump in there and get a tag in it, maybe spray the navel. Oh, he's so close. He got on it just for a second. All right, so what's next? We need to get it nursing. It's close. It's so close. It's so funny to watch those things try and they know exactly what they need to do. Every time he gets on it, he kind of pushes it out of the way and can't get that right angle. So we need to make sure that happens. I'm going to give him probably another half hour, 45 minutes. If it still is having trouble, then I think I'm going to try and jump in there and see if I can just kind of guide it, get its head positioned just right, or maybe hold the teat so it can latch on. So that's first priority. Mama's been licking it. She's been drying it off. They've started that bonding process. We just need to get it nursing. That'll solidify that bond and obviously make sure the calf starts warming up. It is getting cold. The wind's picking up a little bit. Sometime today, I need to get them up in this front 2.5 acre pasture. Some of you might remember the video I did back in January that talked about a coyote rolling through. Well, the same coyote, I'm assuming it's the same coyote, has been working its way through our pastures on a regular basis now. I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned. I'm not going to take any lethal action against this thing by any means. Clearly there's a den somewhere this time of year. So we're about April 19th is when the pups are born and they're still in the den. You start to see more of single adults kind of out hunting to help raise that family. It won't be until about mid-May that the pups actually come out of the den. But we've been having what I call a lot of coyote days. I call them coyote days. So it's overcast. Sometimes it's snowing or flurrying. That's been our weather for about the last 2.5, 3 weeks. Windy, overcast, rainy, snowy. Those are perfect coyote days. I always see the coyotes come out during the daylight hours when the weather's like that. And just last night, one of them came out of the timber and it crossed through this pasture right where I have this heifer and her calf. So makes me a little nervous. All it would take would be losing one calf to a coyote just because I was too lazy to move them into a more secure area. I'd be really beating myself up. Tomorrow we have high winds. They're talking at a minimum 30 miles an hour and then about half inch of rain. Could end up being more. Overcast, cold, then it gets cold that night. I have the barn space. I have stalls. There's really no reason for me to not get mama and baby up into that barn and into that stall. I want to intervene as little as possible, but I also obviously want to give this calf the highest chance to be healthy. The other thing that I would like to do is spray that navel with some iodine. Not super necessary, but it would just make me feel a little bit better about it. And then I'd like to get the tag in the ear. Oh boy, has it been a day. Let's see, catch you up. It's a bull calf, which I had a feeling it would be. Mom was actually pretty cool with me touching it. I got it sprayed, got the umbilical sprayed with iodine and got it tagged. It had seemed kind of listless today. So I saw it eat after 1.5 hours after birth. It finally was able to latch on and get some nursing done. It laid around all day and it was still shivering. Mom was very, very vocal. Even when Mom was laying down next to it, she was letting out pretty loud, kind of distressed moos. And then she would stand up, she'd be licking the calf, she'd be trying to get the calf up, and it just would lay around. And I let this go on for about an hour, hour and a half. It doesn't seem as peppy as it should be. So I actually picked the calf up. It took a while for it to get its feet underneath it. It was able to stand on its own, and I was trying to get it to nurse. I was trying to guide its mouth to the teat. It just was having trouble latching on and nursing. And then it gave up. It laid back down. And I thought, it's probably not getting enough to eat. So I actually picked it up again. I walked it, kind of pushed it up about 2.5 acres into our barn where the pair is at now. And obviously, the fact that it was able to walk under its own power for the most part uphill, it had plenty of strength, but it made me a little nervous. And obviously I'm new to calving. I'm still trying to figure out what's normal. And this one just seemed to be laying around. And like I said, it was shivering. And then mom just being really, really vocal, actually trying to get it to nurse and it wouldn't nurse. That kind of got me a little worried. So I ended up going into the vet, picked up a shot. It's called calf perk. I thought I better have on hand just in case. I haven't administered it yet. It was one of those things that's better safe than sorry. Now that he's up nursing, everything seems all right. I would rather not give him something that he doesn't need. And that's my whole goal. You know, I want to be as hands-off with my herd as possible. But, you know, if I lose one calf, that's a 33% loss in my herd expansion or a 33% reduction in any sort of profit that I'm going to have when we finish this beef. So that's taken a pretty big hit. There's no reason why on such a small scale I shouldn't take advantage of being able to help the cows out when they need it. You know, the bottom line with what's going on right now is it's just been a really bad spring. Today's the 19th. April 14th of last year, we were grazing 6 to 8 inch tall grass. And we have in the forecast another week of clouds, rain, and cold. And the grass just isn't growing. So yeah, the pair's doing good. We're gonna check back in here in a little bit. And if anyone has any questions about anything, let me know.